Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and successful cheaters, and welcome to The Struggle, a news talk show powered by Pornhub's environmental policy. I'm your host, Tavleen. Welcome. Tonight, we discuss why one real estate agency thought sex was the solution to the housing crisis, marrying inanimate objects, and whether or not you should sue your parents. Climate change. Isn't it depressing? From the current state of the Great Barrier Reef to ice melting in the Arctic, and the potential impact of an Adani coal mine. Simply put, our world is dying. Unless, of course, you believe Australia's leading climate scientist, Pauline Hanson.
What happened to the dinosaurs? How did they die off? Humans didn't create it. So there's been a lot of changes that happened. They haven't released the true facts or figures as far as temperature changes over the years. They've fiddled with facts and figures. This has been man-made, this fear-mongering about climate change.
Whoa. She might be a climate change skeptic, but saying that the dinosaurs died off? Now that's a step too far. I mean, do we need any more proof they're still roaming about? But thankfully, when it comes to climate change, not everyone is advocating to build new coal mines. Children are contributing to the political debate by showing us how selfish we are being. Hives hosting up to 180,000 bees managed to survive a fire that engulfed Paris' Notre Dame Cathedral. And best of all, Pornhub is developing better environmental policy than our government. Yup, earlier this month, Pornhub released the campaign Be Sexual, which seeks to combat declining bee population. Why are bees important? I'm glad you asked. Not only do they make delicious honey, they're directly responsible for creating 1/3 of the food we eat through pollination. But their numbers are in sharp global decline.
Nature is bisexual, not bisexual, bisexual.
As part of the Pornhub Cares initiative, they have created a new genre of enviroporn which encourages you to masturbate to videos of bees gathering sweet pollen from flowers. Taped for your pleasure, adult film stars talk dirty and provide a rather unique soundtrack. Pollination porn is hard to resist. And it's for a good cause too. We now cross over to our HR correspondent, Denise, to give us more.
Thank you, Tavleen. But I am not Denise anymore, and I am not your HR correspondent. I recently went to India. I went to the Osho resort, and I have found that I have discovered myself. I have found Nirvana, and I have opened up my third eye. So now, I would appreciate if you would call me Harmony. Look around. What do you see? What do you hear? Mother Nature and all of her gifts. But I'll tell you what I don't see. Bees. Without bees, Mother Nature is dying and something has to be done. Luckily, Pornhub has a quickie solution. Bisexual, a new porn genre dedicated to saving bees.
The films feature the voices of porn's biggest stars, such as Brett Rossi.
His pistols are hung like a tree!
I know, right? I'm coming in for more. Let me slide in.
For every click on these videos, Pornhub will donate money to bee-saving charities. I don't know about you, but I now personally identify as a bisexual. Excuse me.
Hey, babe, what are you doing?
I'm saving the bees, honey.
Again? That's the 6 times a day.
I've done my part, and now it's your turn. Log onto your computers, turn off those lights, and remember to say please to the bees. Namaste, Tavleen. Ed, I'm noticing from your aura there that your spirit animal is a beaver. I think we should do some mantras and just, really get those spirits flowing, embrace the beaver,
Wow, Denise. Harmony. Who knew we needed a crystal correspondent? Now, if you're worried we have spent too much time talking about Pornhub, don't worry because we are changing pace. Let's discuss hard copies of pornography instead. Have your parents ever found your porn stash? A few magazines poorly hidden under your bed or tucked away at the back of your sock drawer? Or maybe you left your laptop open on a not so family friendly website. Well, one man's parents decided they had had enough of their son's filthy habit of amassing pornography. The 40-year-old man from the US who was living with his parents discovered mum and dad had tossed out his porn stash worth 29,000 US dollars. That's 40,000 Australian. Ouch. And he's not happy about it. In fact, he's so angry that he's suing his parents for the financial loss of the 12 boxes of magazines and films, including titles such as Big Bad Grannies. Who even buys porn DVDs and magazines these days? Someone needs to tell this guy we have the internet, which is one big free porn library. But it turns out suing your parents is actually quite a popular pastime. Take this kid for example. Just 3 short years ago, the then 13-year-old launched a wrongful life lawsuit against his parents for creating him, knowing he would likely be born with red hair. Carrot Top's lawyer said his client's parents intentionally exposed him to a life of rejection and bullying. To be fair, unless I got a role in a mega successful movie franchise like the Weasley siblings did, I would probably want some financial compensation for being born with that hair. We now cross to Emily for I'm a Millennial, Get Me Out of Here, who's hitting the streets to ask the good people of Melbourne what they would sue their rents for.
Welcome back to I'm a Millennial, Get Me Out of Here. Today we're going to give you some hot tips to get some extra cash in order to survive. In some ways, the best way to find extra moolah is to look at home. That's right, sue your parents. Now, we're going to hit the streets and find out what the public's opinion is on this. Sure, you might lose contact with the person who brought you into this world, and there's extra legal fees to look into, but desperate times call for desperate measures. So, would you ever sue your parents?
No, never.
No, I don't think I'd ever sue my parents.
Oh, I don't think I would either, no. Don't think I could bring myself to sue my parents, to be perfectly honest.
No.
No, I'd never sue my parents, no.
Although some people may just have a very tough situation, but that's not the right decision to do that.
No, never.
It would have to be something extremely life-changing to sue them for it, I think.
What about if they chucked out your porn stash?
Definitely not.
No. I think with the internet, there's plenty of stash on there. You don't really need your own stash. Just go and download it for, I reckon. You don't need to go too far into it.
That's a bit in depth. I don't know why you had to do that, to be honest.
Can I not answer this question?
No worries.
Don't have a porn collection, but I'm sure I can start the collection again.
No. I mean, that's something material? No.
But what about getting your inheritance early, Is that sort of...
No, still wouldn't.
Definitely not.
If it is money, they are your parents at the end of the day.
Well, financial support. I mean, you've always got your parents to back you. I mean, like Duncan said, you can always download some more porn if you need it.
No, I like to work for my money.
Nice, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome, no worries, thank you.
Thanks, Emily. A pleasure as always. Right then, we're off to a short break. See you soon. Welcome back. Now to our preferred Prime Minister. Apparently so, Australia. According to Vote Compass, 78% of people believe Malcolm Turnbull shouldn't have been pushed from the top job. News which is surely confidence building for our current PM. But look, ScoMo can't cope all the blame for losing this latest popularity contest, especially when he's already battling the might of Labour's nifty photoshopping. Someone tell Pauline dinosaurs are still alive. Regardless, ScoMo isn't letting this dampen his election campaign because he's still getting out and about amongst the people, particularly the older generation, and he's doing everything retirees usually do. Playing lawn balls, having a game of pool, and watching Game of Thrones. But instead of also trying to garner youth support, Morrison's chosen to appeal to a different demographic altogether. rabbits. And while body gestures like a simple thumbs up are commonplace on the campaign trail, it's good to see Bill Shorten's found a way to utilize one of his thumbs in a sensible manner.
We go 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. All right.
Okay.
Now you...
Anything to win an election, right? Let's cross now to our Caucasian correspondent and see if she has an alternative to these fairly ordinary political games.
Oh, hello. I did not see you there. My name is Carol Susans, and I am your Caucasian correspondent. Australians are disillusioned and disappointed. Between 2007 and now, we have had 48 Prime Ministers, including one ginger. 346% of Australians have expressed in a recent poll that ousting Malcolm Turnbull in favour of Scott Morrison was a mistake. Why don't we not vote any of the old clowns in? I can think of a solution. The federal election is around the corner. May 18 is your opportunity to make a difference with your vote. A vote for Carol is a vote for safer borders, more jobs, farmers, safer borders.
We're going to build a wall.
Policemen, privatising our national broadcaster, and safer borders. Vote Carol Susans. Vote One United Conservative Sustainable Family Country Australia Nation Christian Farmers Justice Front Party.
Wow, Carol, you've included so many groups in your party name, it's almost impossible to imagine how anyone would feel excluded. Sticking with extreme nationalism and the alt-right is increasingly throwing its weight around ahead of the May 18 election by pushing for the re-election of loose cannon and gun lover Senator Fraser Anning. And because racism and intolerance are apparently fashionable again, the far right is also planning to cause controversy through actions such as burning the Quran and performing blackface stunts. But circulating these views might not be as simple as before, given Facebook has declared praise or support for white nationalism and separatism will now be banned on the platform. For more, we cross to a far-right correspondent, Pauline Han-Sung, who is in the midst of a crisis, having already fallen victim to these new restrictions.
It's finally happening. It's finally happening. Facebook has caught us, and there's no way we're coming back from this. Facebook and Zuckerberg is trying to silence us, and all of our alt-right groups have been zucked. And that's just because we've been spreading hate and attacking minorities based on the basis of who they are. But we're just trying to elicit some free speech, and they're taking that away from us. I'm only just spreading the love of hatred.
It all started when I was innocently scrolling through my Facebook feed, looking at the latest anti-vax minion meme. You know, maybe I'll take a look at a few Donald Trump memes and maybe like a few Christian posts. Hell, I'll even make a status update on why I believe the earth is flat. When suddenly, everything stopped working. I was just about to go take a look at my favorite far-right Christian page, Knights Templar International, and you know what I found? Nothing! The page is blank. And it still is, just like our future. First, it was Tommy Robinson, then Nick Griffin, then Paul Golding. The list keeps on growing. We can't let them zuck us over like that. And they can't silence us. We must rise. Open your eyes and open your minds. We will defeat them, and they won't defeat.
Apologies, if you're watching us on Facebook, you would have just experienced a minute and a half of redacted content. In the meantime, though, we'll take a break to try and get Pauline entirely zucked from our show. And we're back on your screens again. Have you ever been in love? felt the rush of adrenaline or the gut-wrenching fear of loss and rejection? A need to express foul public displays of affection? Well, I haven't, but Joey Morris has. The 29-year-old performer has kissed his exes Donna the Dead and Optimus Prime goodbye and has finally decided to settle down with his current partner of 2 years, Robert Roll. Oh, cute. Joey first realized he was objectum, attracted to objects, when he locked eyes with a lamp at the age of 10.
I love lamp. Do you really love the lamp, or are you just saying it because you saw it?
I love lamp. I love lamp.
This match made in heaven is planning a romantic getaway to Florida, and Joey is seriously considering popping the question. But Joey is not alone in his sexuality, as there are hundreds world over who identify as objectum sexual. Like Erika Eiffel, who just celebrated her 12-year anniversary with her spouse, the Eiffel Tower. And Amanda Liberty from Leeds met her dream partner online, falling head over heels for her chandelier, Lumiere, after meeting on world-renowned dating site eBay. Who said money can't buy love? Amanda even got down on one knee for Lumiere on Valentine's Day to signify their long-lasting love. Oh, if only human relationships were that simple. I mean, it's not as if people just go online, choose a partner, and next thing you know, they're sleeping together. That's reserved exclusively for Amanda and her chandelier. Anyway, let's move on to a place where chandeliers have a more functional purpose: the property market. We all know that sex sells, but does it sell houses? A Sydney real estate agency has ditched traditional marketing techniques for an ad that is so wrong, it's almost right.
This was an uphill fight. I was at the front, kicking all the way. Yeah. In so many ways, it didn't feel right. And no longer will you keep me up all night. No longer so true.
I think this neatly sums up what we just witnessed. Yup, it is certainly something. Unfortunately, the real estate firm LJ Hooker Bankstown has removed the ad from social media after receiving online backlash. The firm said in a statement that they missed the mark this time. We wholeheartedly disagree and hope someone in the Australian film industry realizes the cinematic potential of this masterpiece. Rumour has it that our housing correspondent Anthony has been inspired by this revolutionary advertising and has taken a few notes of his own.
Welcome to Maison de l'Amour. That's how you do it, okay? Just like that. And when you're closing the door, little bit of a groove. Oh. Action. Wait, cut. Where's the girl? She's supposed to be dancing. All right, never mind. Let's move to the kitchen. Do you think you could pick her up?
Yo, no, that's not what I signed up for. You said this is an ad for house?
Okay, fine. Do you think you could just do something exotic, sexy anyway? Because nothing really works in here. Looks like we didn't have the budget for a cleaner after we paid you, so. Do you remember the part that I showed you? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Let's try that one. How far are you two willing to go with the pay you're getting?
Hold up. We're getting paid for this?
Thanks, Anthony. That gives a whole new meaning to the term housing crisis. Moving on to sport, and while we are missed a record 10 days of AFL in 11 calendar days, it may seem that Aussie Rules is the only game going on at the moment. But with so much also happening in the worlds of soccer, golf, cricket and Formula One, let's cross live to our miscellaneous correspondent, Peter, for a comprehensive sports wrap.
Thanks, Tavleen. What a huge variety of sport we've been blessed with recently, and none bigger than the comeback. And aren't comebacks oh so satisfying? Maybe not. Anyway, Tiger Woods' rise from oblivion to claim Masters glory undoubtedly completes one of the sport's greatest comebacks, and he couldn't have been more rapt about it. Speaking of former cheaters, the much-maligned duo of Steve Smith and David Warner have spectacularly risen from the ball tampering ban to being named in Australia's World Cup squad. Yep, that's Steve Smith's formula for success. Cheat as much as you want, and you'll automatically be selected by your country, even if you got dropped by your IPL franchise in India. Over to the NBA now, and the Clippers completed the biggest comeback in playoff history, overcoming a 31-point deficit to defeat the Warriors, a team with 5 all-star players. And while we were in the world of basketball, fans of Aussie Ben Simmons might be surprised to learn that he has disappeared. His jump shot, that is. And while we're on the topic of Australians competing on the international stage, Daniel Ricciardo performed sensationally at the Grand Prix, number 1000 in Shanghai. Not only did he manage to actually finish a race for the first time this year, but incredibly, he finished 7th. I mean, that's pretty much a podium finish.
Bravo!
And for all you Carlton supporters out there, we haven't forgotten about you. Just because the Blues haven't won in 3 of their last 37 matches, that doesn't mean that your team isn't on the verge of a comeback too. I mean, the boys almost completed the remarkable task of beating Gold Coast, and wouldn't have that been an incredible feat? But we all know Carlton fans believe in membership slogans rather than actual comebacks. Back to you, Tavleen.
Thanks for that, Peter. Well, that's the final siren for this week's show. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, share and tell us about your love for inanimate objects in the comments below. But for now, the struggle, it's real.